What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out the video. Now, today's video is going to be talking about the upcoming matchup taking place in New Zealand between Joseph Parker versus Huey Fury. Really like this fight. Most of the opinions coming out in this fight are Joseph Parker is favored by in the betting odds, anyways, and a lot of the general public, from what I've seen on different social media outlets, are favoring Joseph Parker in this matchup. So I'm going to talk about this fight, guys. Let you know what I think on this matchup and who I believe will win this fight. Now let's look at Joseph Parker. So Joseph Parker has a lot of hype surrounding him. When you look at him as a fighter, some things that he does well. He seems to be a solid puncher. He's a guy who is physically pretty strong. Also, when I look at Joseph Parker, I see a guy who seems to have a decent chin from the competition that he's faced. He's faced some pretty good competition, in my opinion, versus Takam, a guy who is experienced veteran in the heavyweight division. Ruiz, also a guy who is very fast hands. He has skills, but his problem always has been throughout his career and the shape he is in. So against some of those caliber fighters, his chin has shown up in those matchups. And Parker has very, very fast hands. I would say the fastest hands, potentially in the heavyweight division, or very close to, anyways. In my opinion, when you look at Joseph Parker as a fighter. Now, when I talk about Huey Fury and what he brings to the table, Huey Fury, trained by great trainer Peter Fury, in my opinion, love the work he does. When I look at Huey Fury, I see a guy who has an excellent jab. He's a fighter who has a very awkward style. He can switch stances. He gives you some movement. Extremely good at finding his range. Very defensively responsible. He's a guy who, when he does punch the body, has very good body shots that he lands, good combinations. He's a guy also who is just very, in my opinion, he's very underrated. He doesn't have the big punching power that a lot of some other heavyweights has, but he makes it up for his boxing IQ and his awkward style. So Huey Fury, in my opinion, a guy also is a very accurate puncher. Very underrated guy, in my opinion, in the heavyweight division. Somebody who I've been pretty high on his talent, in my opinion, speaking as a fan. Now, when I look at this fight and break down some of the advantages that both of these guys have in this matchup, in my opinion, I'm going to first start off with Joseph Parker and what I think he has in this fight over Huey Fury. Joseph Parker, I believe, is physically the stronger fighter of the two. Also, I believe that Joseph Parker has better punching power than Huey Fury. And I believe that he has fought better competition so far in his career, in my opinion. Also, not to mention that Joseph Parker will be having the advantage of the fight being over in New Zealand. So that's a big advantage for him, especially when it comes to the scorecards, in my opinion. Hopefully, boxing judges score this fight fairly and correctly. But of course, in the sport of boxing, that is not always the case. So those are some advantages that I would say Joseph Parker has over Huey Fury. Also, I believe that Parker has better hand speed as well. Now, the advantage that Huey Fury has, in my opinion, in this fight, I believe Huey Fury's style is way more unpredictable than Joseph Parker's. I also believe that Huey has the better jab of the two and is way better controlling range. I also believe Huey has better movement, and also that defensively Huey Fury is more responsible of the two fighters. Now, when I look at this fight and I predict who I believe will win this fight and how they'll win this fight, I'm going to predict Huey Fury to win a split decision in this matchup. I'm going to tell you guys why. So, in my opinion, looking at this fight, Joseph Parker, a number of issues I see in him as a fighter is Parker is a guy who can be easily backed up on the ropes. And versus a guy like Huey Fury, if you can control the distance and find his range, he's extremely hard to beat. I believe that Joseph Parker has to back Huey Fury up throughout the whole fight to win. And I believe that because Parker can be pushed back and, in the ropes or on the corner, things of that nature, that Huey Fury can control the distance, and that's going to be a huge issue for Parker. Also, Parker versus Ruiz shows that he is very susceptible to being caught by jabs, jabs to the body, jabs to the head. And with Huey Fury's jab being, in my opinion, his best punch in his arsenal, extremely good jab, I think it's going to be a huge issue for Parker trying to defend that punch throughout this fight. Another reason why I like Huey Fury in this matchup, I also think that with his style, very awkward style, like his cousin Tyson Fury, and with his defense, I believe that's going to be very hard for Joseph Parker to land fluidly on Huey Fury, along with I think that Huey Fury will not let Joseph Parker get into a rhythm that he's been accustomed to against some of these other type of fighters just with Huey Fury's style. And very unfortunate though, guys, huge issue for Huey Fury in this fight that he cannot have his father Peter Fury in his corner. A very good boxing mind like Peter Fury, you definitely need him in your corner and want him in your corner. So that is a huge loss for Team Fury that Peter Fury has not been able to get into New Zealand. I was pretty surprised by that, to tell you the truth, because Peter Fury has been to Canada, and he was in Canada for quite a bit of time actually. So he was able to get into Canada, and now he can't get into New Zealand. Kind of weird because they're both Commonwealth countries. So very interesting when I looked at that. I'm very unfortunate that for Peter Fury that he cannot get into New Zealand. Really a shame, and unfortunate. So I believe that Clifton Mitchell, I'm not 100% confirmed on that, but I believe Clifton Mitchell will probably take over as a head trainer for that fight, which isn't a bad thing. He's also a very good trainer himself, and Clifton has been a part of Team Fury for a number of years, so it's good to have that common familiar factor in this fight. But lots to factor in for Huey Fury. There's a lot of disadvantages for him in this fight, like I mentioned throughout the video. But in my opinion, I just believe that Huey Fury is the more skilled of the two, in my opinion, and I believe that he wins a close decision in this fight. Obviously, because of the fight being in New Zealand, you got to worry about the judges, and that factors in kind of my opinion on the split decision. Let me know what you guys think on this fight. I'm going with the underdog Huey Fury, split decision. Want to hear what you guys think of the matchup. Who do you like in this fight? Thank you very much, guys, for tuning into the video. Once again, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.